Alright, what's going on, guys? In this video I'm going to show you how to put together the Concept2 BikeErg. And I recommend before you get started, just take everything out of the box and set it up sort of like the overall bike shape. On the first page of the manual there's an outline of where all the parts go, so that'll allow you to see what it will look like once it's all completed. So let's get started. So for the first step, you want to connect this longer post, which is going to be for the handlebar, to this little bar down here that has the wheels. So go ahead and grab two of these screws that have this gold paint on them and your screwdriver. And then the next step is going to be aligning those holes, so make sure they're going in the same direction with that post. So we'll go ahead and just stand it up. Get them all in line. I'm just going to put the top two screws in. One on the left, one on the right. Grab the other two screws. Alright, so it's actually 4 total for this post. And just start screwing them in. And you have to use this screwdriver. It's got this design on it. It's like a little star. Alright, so I got all 4 of those screwed in, and make sure it's not loose at all. Nothing shakes really. And one tip is to actually reverse your grip. So traditionally you screw like this, but it's a lot more difficult than I thought it would be to screw these in, so I found it much more helpful to reverse my grip and twist like this to get a bit more crank going. Alright, so once that part's complete, go ahead and set it down. And then grab 4 more of these screws and come on over to the tail end of the bike where the seat post is, and we're now going to attach that to this base. So you'll notice it has 2 feet, and we want to make sure that it aligns properly to the holes that are inside of that post. So now let's go ahead and connect this seat post to our base in a similar fashion to that first post. Alright, make sure they all align, and let's get started. Alright, so I've gotten the 4 screws in as far as I can with the traditional way to grip the screwdriver here, so I'm now going to reverse and get a bit more torque. And you want to make sure these are all the way locked in, so they should be at the point where you can't even turn it any more to the right. So I just realized in the manual we can actually connect an Allen wrench into the center hole here to get a bit more leverage when we turn this tool right here. So let's go ahead and grab that now. There we go. Yeah, it's definitely a lot easier to turn that way. Alright, give them one final tighten and we're good. Alright, so now that we have our seat post all set up, we have to now attach that to the frame. And you'll see there's 2 holes on the outside of the frame that align with the inside of the seat post here. And then on the top, there are 2 other holes. And that's going to be the ones that we actually hand tighten and then use the tool. So we're going to make sure these ones are locked in first on top, and then get the ones on the side all the way tightened up. So let's get started. You'll find these ones screwing much easier than the ones on the legs. All right, just gonna give these ones a final check. Good. All right, that step's all set. So in this next step, we're going to need to tilt the entire frame. It's actually starting to look like a bike, which is awesome. So we're going to tilt all this back. So the back of the saddle rests in this foam box. Hopefully you still have it. You can see here this is cut out where the seat was when we took it out of the box. And for the instructions, they want us to tilt everything back so it aligns back to that box. So it'll be completely at level with the frame. So let's go ahead and tilt that back. Cool. All right, the next step is to reach into this part of the frame and pull out this wire here. And we're going to make sure that it goes on this little slit towards the end, right next to the box of that fan, and drop it right in there. So now it can come out, because it's going to be covered and it would have severed that wire had we not pulled it through. There's one little slot there, so it should just be able to hang right down there. All right, so the next step is to find your last two gold striped screws and use those to attach the front of the bike to the frame. Make sure these silver openings are pointed out towards you and drop those in so they're on the bottom. And make sure you... All right, those look in line. And you want to put these gold ones in the bottom where those silver screw holes are. All right, and now we're going to look for those two really long screws. You should only have two of them. And we're going to pop those in the top. And you should be able to hand tighten them to a point where they basically just don't spin anymore, because it should insert and go all the way through into this box. So insert it, and then it should sort of just fall into place. You might have to work a little bit to find the hole. And I just found it, so now I'm going to just hand tighten it and then use the tool to finish them off. All right. So at this point, we can go ahead and just stand the bike up. You're all set with this piece of foam. Just toss that. So now we're going to be installing the handlebars. Alright, so the next step is to take your handlebars and insert them towards the front of the bike. And you can orient this either way. I have a bad back, so I'm going to have my handlebars a little bit higher up. But you also can install them in the traditional road bike fashion. So, dual purpose. And just push it in. Right. And you may need to loosen this piece up a bit, so you turn this dial. You might need to use your core to push it forward. All right. All right, so the second to last step is to attach the PM5 Concept2 computer. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that into the front of the handlebar. Alright, so now that our PM5 is in place, we're not going to screw it just yet. The next step is to find that cable that we had threaded earlier, right here. And we're just going to go ahead and bring that upward. Find that little holder there and just pop it into place. You don't want much slack down there at all, so make sure it's relatively tight. And this is going to plug into the back of our PM5 unit. All right, and now we're going to install the 2 screws at the top and 2 screws at the bottom. That's going to fasten this cable to the handlebar right there. So I'll go ahead and screw those 4 in. And it's going to be these final 4 screws that are in their own little separate baggie. Alright, so the PM5 is now secured to the handlebar. And the final thing you need to do is either attach the additional pedal that came with the erg, or remove them and install Shimano pedals. I know those are compatible, so that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to get riding. Hope you enjoyed this video. There's a link in the description below to this bike if you'd like to pick one up. Only took 2 days to get this bad boy from Amazon, so hopefully your experience with building this bike is as seamless as mine was. I think the whole thing was probably 30 minutes, so enjoy the bike. I love Concept2, their products are freaking amazing. Love my rower, and now I have a BikeErg, so I'll just start riding. Thanks guys, take care.